Hey there, everybody. It's Mike DeLisio with another Dice Tower Daily Unboxing. Today, we're going to be taking a look at Votes for Women. Join the American women's suffrage movement. 1848 to 1920. A game by Tori Brown. This is coming from Fort Circle Games. This is for 1 to 4 players between 60 and 75 minutes. It is July 1848 in Seneca Falls, New York. The reading of a Declaration of Sentiments has just lit the spark in the fight for women's suffrage. For more than 70 years, this fight would touch every corner of the U.S. and expose the power and pitfalls of the social movement. Its goal, ratify the 19th Amendment and secure for women the most fundamental right to vote. Play out this exciting chapter of American history. All right, so I was a social studies teacher for almost 20 years before beginning this job, so I definitely have an interest in historically themed games. Played an earlier version of this game on the channel, which I'm sure you can check out if you had an interest. So this is the final production copy. So let's take a look at it. You've got a lot of wooden components here. You've got these very cool, chunky green check marks. Let me show off a few of those. Very, very nice. Okay. You've got some equally impressive, instead of the green check marks, you've got the red nope X's. And then you've got some nice colored cubes, and you've got some wooden figures. Show off some of these. You can get an idea of the custom wooden meeples there. Very, very cool. And we've got some larger cylinders, and anyway, lots of nice wooden pieces here. Okay, these are definitely a step beyond many wooden components. We've got a whole bunch of dice, all right, of different varieties, some of which I've dropped on the floor, but I have retrieved them. Okay, so I'm just going to show these off. Large number of different valued dice, different colored dice. Got a bunch of cards we're going to come back to in a moment. We've got all kinds of stuff going on in here. My goodness. Oh, that's very cool. Okay, I'm going to show that off in a moment. Here we've got our rule book. All right. We've got an overview here. Two-sided game revolves around the battle to ratify or reject the 19th Amendment to the U.S. Constitution. The victory conditions. If the 19th Amendment has not been sent to the states for ratification by the end of turn 6, the opposition side immediately wins the game. If the 19th Amendment has been sent to the states, as soon as the 36th state ratifies the amendment, the suffragist side immediately wins the game. As soon as the 13th state rejects the amendment, the opposition side immediately wins the game. All right? And it says that because of the importance of the history of the campaign to pass the 19th Amendment, they've included a historical supplement and designer notes booklet, a composite of all the suffrage-related stories from the August 1920 issue of the New York Times, and several historical documents that are described. So that's pretty cool. So here you've got a historical supplement, design notes, which is, if you're a history buff at all, this is going to be very interesting to you. And I mean, they put in all of this supplemental material, which is very, very cool if you're a history nerd. Just going to show off some of this. Is this necessary to play the game? No. Is it cool? Does it aid in the immersion? Absolutely, in my opinion. Coming from the Standard Guano Company. Very, very cool. Look at all of this stuff. All right, well, there's a lot here, a whole lot. And again, if this is something that is interesting to you, you're going to want to spend time poring over those. Here we see the board, the pieces, dice, and buttons, the cards, 5 decks of which we'll be looking at. And the setup, the sequence of play, 6 turns. First, planning stage. Next, strategy phase. Next, operations phase. And finally, a cleanup phase. And then they go into each of these phases in a bit more detail. All right. And they've got the final voting. If you're playing with 2 Suffragist players, playing with 2 opposition players, managing an Oppobot, which is used in either solitaire or in cooperative mode. All right. Very, very cool. Let's take a look at the board and the buttons. Here are our buttons. Very nice, thick cardboard there. Certainly no complaints on the quality of the cardboard. Let's take a look at the board here, which should look familiar to anyone who's seen a map of the United States. All right. In the different regions there. All right. And then we got a bunch of cards we're going to look at. All right, so we see the backs of the cards. These are many of these most of these we're going to look at first are for the Oppobot. Okay. You can see the historical pictures of documents and portions from publications and art from the era and photographs. Very, very cool. Yeah, I do like the look of this. Again, I've got a bit of, these are strategy cards. I've obviously got a bit of a interest in it purely from a historical standpoint, but gameplay wise, although I only played it the once, maybe twice, I do remember enjoying it quite a bit. So looking forward to trying out this finished copy as well. Here we see Suffragist cards. All right, so you've got different periods, early, middle, and late period cards. And then we've got one more large deck of cards we're going to look at here, which are the opposition cards and the state cards. All right. So start card, early, middle, and late. And then the state cards. All right. Well, again, a game that I'm very much interested in trying out this final version. Looks like they did a really nice job of incorporating historical, supplementary material. Clearly, this is a subject that is being taken seriously. But again, from my experience, they did not substitute enjoyment of gameplay to keep in historical relevance. That is, votes for women. Thank you for watching another Dice Tower Daily Unboxing.